Yeah. Perfect. So, hi everyone and welcome. Today we will be talking about recycling technologies. And I believe you are seeing my screen now. Yes. So just shortly to introduce the background on today's webinar, we have been working for the past 1.5 years on this project called Tekstilsymbiose Herning, which is a project where several local Danish companies working both with the textiles, fashion, but also other types of companies working with furniture, filters, packaging, and so on. They've been a part of it in order to look into what could textile waste be used for, which kind of solutions is there or are there for the near future, since we will all, at least in Europe, be having lots more collected textile waste in 2025. So this is the background. We've been already doing several webinars before, and this is the second one on textile recycling. And today's webinar, we have Angeline Elfström, who is the business development at Sodra in Sweden. So she will talk about once more their technology. Recycling technology, and then we'll have Julia Ulrich from Lensing Group, who will talk about their recycling technology, who's called Refibra. And then in the end, we will hear from Rune Byremo from Plast Nordic, who will let us know about their polyester recycling technology. Now I will stop sharing and give the word to you, Angeline, so you can share your screen and tell us about once more. Yes, I see.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hi, everyone. You see my screen, right, Gabriela?
Yes.
Good. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angeline Elfström. I'm the Business Development Manager for Once More. I will first give a short introduction to Södra, our company, and then I will go into Once More a little bit deeper. But Södra is a forest association. It's a cooperative in Sweden. We are owned by 52,000 members in the southern part of Sweden. And now most of you are in Denmark, and you maybe know that Södra in Sweden is southern. So we're all located in the southern part of Sweden. And our vision or our ambition is to create value from the forest. So we process the sustainable forest raw material from our members' responsibly managed forest into products. Today we run 3 pulp mills and 8 sawmills in Sweden, and we are part of many different value chains. We produce and sell saw timber in different dimensions. We have paper pulp, we produce dissolving pulp. And here you can see some projects where you can see the end products, but they all started in the forest, in our forest in Sweden. Today we will focus on the second here, the more sustainable textiles, and why we entered this market. We started to produce dissolving pulp in Mörrum in 10 years ago. And then about 6 years ago, we looked into some numbers, and there is a big demand in textiles until 2030. And do we have land to grow more cotton? Do we want more synthetic fibers? Or should we use the waste, the textile, once more? So we looked into this, and when you start reading about it, more than 100 million tons of textile fibers is produced each year, but only a fraction is ever recycled. And I think you have the same numbers, both Julia and Rune, and maybe you will mention this later as well. But most textiles ends up in landfills or is incinerated. And that can be because we don't have the recycling technologies today, but also that we are not designing the clothes so it can be recycled in a good way. We found some numbers about an average Nordic citizen, and that's just for you to get some glimpse of what's the problem or how much waste, textile waste, is created every year. 14 kilos is bought every year by an average Nordic citizen. 14 and 4 kilos is collected via secondhand or charity. So you give 4 kilos of that to secondhand or charity. Someone else can use it, or is used in one or another way. And then, of course, we put more textiles in our homes. So we're growing the textiles that you have in your home by 3 kilos each year. And then 7 kilos ends up in the trash. And that's a lot. And if it's not waste anymore, maybe we can use it. So this is the value chain. Södra is then in the beginning of the value chain. We are producing the pulp, and then we have the viscose or lyocell producer, which is producing the fiber, a yarn, a fabric, a garment. The retailer, we're going into a store, we buy clothes, we use them, and when we don't want to use them anymore, it's waste. Instead of putting it to the waste, we are taking it into our once more process. I think I have one more picture, the textiles, and we're mixing it with wood. So what kind of textiles do we take in today? Today we handle most white and light textiles and the blend of polycotton. We can also handle viscose and lyocell, but in small numbers. But we are looking into how we can broaden the specification, broaden it with more materials, but also with different colors, etc. So we take in the textiles, and we already today have our 52,000 members. So we have the wood. We're mixing it in our process in Mörrum, and out comes a new pulp ready for the viscose and textile market. And this pulp is maybe unique in that way that it's a drop-in product, that our customers, they use our 100% wood-based pulp one day, and then the next day they can use once more with the same qualities. When we started this journey, we started with 3% of recycled content in the end product, and now we're up to 20%. So it's 20% recycled textiles, and it's 80% wood-based. And our target, it's not long-term anymore, it's 2025, so it's just around the corner. In 3 years, it's our target to have a 50-50 product. And when we are selling this product, the wood is certified by FSC or PFC, and the textile with RSC. So it's certified, and we are taking steps with the recycled content kind of every month or every quarter at least. So this is where we are at the moment. We have a recycled content of 20%. And we are right now investing in our mill in Mörrum. So in June, in 1 month, we're starting up again, and we will have a capacity of 6,000 tons of once more pulp each year. And 6,000 tons, maybe it's hard to grab how much is that. It's approximately 24 millions of garments. And then we calculate, I think it's a men's shirt around 250 grams. So it's just to get the glimpse of where we are right now. And I will also show where we're heading or what the plan is in 2025. We have teamed up with Lensing. We have a collaboration to boost post-consumer textile waste recycling. And this is actually to accelerate, because if we're doing it by ourselves and everybody is doing it by ourselves, we will not create a big impact. So this is a joint development project where we transfer knowledge, and the goal is then to process 25,000 tons of textile waste in 3 years. Another example, before I talked about that we can handle light or white textiles, and that's most of the part that we are working on today. But just before Christmas, we launched another collaboration. It was ICA, the biggest supermarket or grocery store in Sweden. They were about to change all their workwears. So 56,000 garments, workwears that cannot be used anymore. And you know about the workwear, you don't want it to end up somewhere else because they have the tag with the company. So we will take care of it. The colleagues, the employers of ICA, they were cutting off all the buttons, all the zippers, all the name badges and so on. And they also used backhaul return logistics to not create extra transportation just to drive around those clothes. So the trucks came out to the stores with food, and they brought back the textile that were going into our process. And it will be recycled into 28,000 new viscose garments. And for this, as you see the lady or the girl on the picture, it's not white colors, it's red, it was a dark gray, it was beige, it was checked shirts, and we can handle it. But we just needed to do some lab trials first. So we are looking into different coloring methods, and that's one of the challenges, because when you're looking into the clothes, you can see that it's cotton or viscose or polyester, but you cannot see how the clothes are dyed. And then it's hard to take it into the process to use it again. But we are looking into it, and we're getting more knowledge, and we are very excited and hopeful to see what we can do in 3 years and in 5 years and in 7 years, of course. I just mentioned it before, but the target for 2025, so that's to process 25,000 tons. So actually to put 30,000 tons of once more pulp on the market, and that it's over 120 million garments. So we have some volumes, and it's just 3 years ahead. So we want to close the loop. We have a product that brands can reach out if you're interested to use once more. It's a viscose. And then also looking into how we can take back clothes and recycle instead of sending it to incineration or to landfills. If you want to hear more about Once More, we did a podcast in November where we released 5 different episodes where we invited organizations, our customers, our partners, some brands to talk about the challenges and where we are today, and also what we are facing the next coming years. So you can find it where you find other podcasts, and each episode is around 20-25 minutes. Or if you want to reach out, I didn't put my name here, but you have it in the agenda. So you can contact me directly on LinkedIn if you have questions, or you can go via our website where you also can find my contact details. So great. I think that was 15 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do an applause emoji here. So super interesting. It seems like you are growing or increasing the capacity, which is great, because as we know, there's lots of ways to recycle. A question I had about if there is polyester in in the textiles, what do you do with it? Is it something you're interested in either figuring out how to recycle yourself or sell it in order to be recycled? What's the thought about that?
Yeah, today the polyester, we can handle it in the process, but it's incinerated. It's driving the process, so it's energy or for the process. We are looking into how we can use it in a better way. Of course, we just created an LCA, and if we can fix the polyester, of course, the calculations in the LCA will be much better. So for both alternatives, you have Gabriella, if we can sell it or if we can give it to someone that can use it again, or if we can do something, absolutely. We are working on that as we speak.
Yeah. And I was happy to see that you're also trying now with the colored textiles, because I know this is something that you have been holding back with and focusing on the white textiles. So that's quite exciting as well. Well, thank you so much, you guys participating here. If you have any other questions, further questions, please put them in the chat. For now, we will say thank you to you, Angeline, and move forward to you, Julia, from Lensing Group.
Yeah, hi everybody.
Hi.
So I
Yes.
hope you can see my screen now, because I cannot see it anymore. That's interesting.
We are seeing, yes, we are seeing your presentation in the PDF.
Okay, super. Okay.
If you want, you can press.
No, I'm fine. I just look a little bit to the right side, because there's my other screen. Sorry that I don't look in your faces anymore. So hello and welcome everybody. My name is Julia Ulrich. I'm the product manager for Tensor Lyocell at the Lensing Group in Austria. Just for those who are not so familiar with lensing, I've put some numbers here. We are close to 8,000 people in the Lensing Group, and here in the picture you can see our headquarters in Austria, which is located at the beautiful Lake Attersee.
Julia, sorry to interrupt. It's not full screen, but if it's difficult, let it be like this. If it's
yeah, I don't know how to switch it. Sorry.
No, you know what? You let it be like this. If you want, you can.
Is it better if I zoom in?
Yes, but you can press on the arrow on the to remove the column you have on the right hand there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, that's much
better.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the information. I was not sure what you see. Okay, so our core market at Lensing are wood-based cellulosic fibers. So that means viscose, modal, and lyocell. And here you can see the different steps of the process. So all our fibers derive from wood, from sustainably managed forests, are then chopped into small little pieces where we get the pulp from, and then are transformed into the fibers. So our brand architecture looks like that we have Tensor, which covers lyocell and modal, and we have a viscose called Lensing Ecovero. And these are for the textile applications, and for non-woven applications, we sell our fibers under the brand of Lyocell. So I've put here just for information, sort of like a timeline. We were founded in 1938, and in 2017 we invented the Refibra technology for tensor lyocell technology. Just maybe a quick introduction, as I'm not sure how many people are familiar with lyocell. You might know that this is sort of like the latest generation of wood-based cellulosic fibers, which have been on the market for 30 years. So this year we're actually celebrating 30 years of Tensor, and Tensor lyocell in Lensing is sold under the brand of Tensor. So where are our fibers produced? We have production facilities in Austria, directly in Lenzing, and also in Heiligenkreuz, which is in the south of Austria. But we also produce Lyocell in the UK, in Grimsby, in the US, in Mobile, and since this year also in Thailand, which is the world's largest Lyocell plant, actually. So what is so special about Lyocell? I would say the most interesting part is that it's a closed loop production process. So the pulp is directly dissolved in an organic solvent, which makes it easier to recycle the solvent as well as the water. So that's why it's actually called a closed loop, and it's less resource intensive than, for example, the viscose process. So at Lenzing, we are very dedicated to responsible sourcing. All the wood that we used are harvested from sustainably managed tree species. Sustainable means that only trees are felled at a rate at which they can grow back. And we also are engaged with Canopy, where we have a dark green shirt in Canopy's hot button report, as we are very much engaging in protecting ancient and endangered forests. So based on this botanic origin, our fibers are fully biodegradable under soil, freshwater, and marine conditions, and they are also compostable in home applications and also in industrial facilities, although we really don't want to encourage anybody to compost or throw away their garments. It's just to let you know that they, in theory, are compostable. What I also would like to mention is that all our fibers are come with a fiber identification technology, so we can fully track the fiber from the plant until the final garment. So that's maybe something that is not so well known. Yeah, when it comes to Refibra technology, although we have already very efficient process in the pulp making and also in the fiber production process, we still aim to increase our efficiency even more and go from a linear to a circular economy. The numbers that we have seen before are really the same that we have. So it's really devastating that about 73% of all the garments end up in landfills every year, where it takes them decades to decompose. So this is really not our target at Lenzing. We really would like to go into a more circular economy. So how was sort of like our Refibra journey? We launched the Refibra technology for Tensor Lyocell in 2017. In 2017, it was a 20% recycled content from pre-consumer waste. So that means sort of like everything that was comes from like the textile production. And in 2019, we were reaching a very important milestone, as it was the first ton of Refibra fibers with a post-consumer waste that we were able to produce. We were also facing these issues about what to do, how to sort of like manage trims, buttons, accessories. So we started sort of like with garments and bed linens, which did not have a lot of excessive trims or whatsoever. And as we have seen before, with this year we started this great cooperation with Söder, where we are really proud of, because we really think this will leverage our journey on recycling. Yeah, our target to a circular economy is pretty much similar to the one that Söder just presented. Our vision until 2025 is to produce Refibra, Tensor Lyocell with Refibra technology with a recycled content of 50%. Which is really not that easy, to be honest. And we would like to make or to use 25,000 tons of textile waste every year to make textile waste recycling as common as paper recycling. I mean, there are a lot of challenges that we need to overcome, but I think we are on a very good way to achieve our targets. So just to give you an idea how this process look like. So usually you have the wood, which is then chopped into small pieces, and then out of these wood pieces, the pulp is produced and then spun into white fibers, which you see here on the top. And for Tensor with Refibra, we also chop the textiles, the pre and post-consumer waste into small pieces, which is also transformed into pulp. And then those two different pulp types are mixed together and go together into the lyocell process, and are then together spun into new white virgin fibers. The available fiber types with Refibra technology are Lyocell standard fibers, which are mainly used for woven applications. Tensor Lyocell is very much known for the high tenacity, so this is really beneficial for the woven applications. But we also produce Tensor Lyocell with Refibra technology in a low fibrillating fiber type, which is best used for knitted applications. And the third type are filling fibers, sort of like short fibers, which can go either into weddings for jackets or pillowcases or other stuffed application types. The key benefits of Tensor Lyocell with Refibra are pretty much the same. The functional benefits are pretty much the same than for normal Tensor Lyocell fibers. The fibers are naturally smooth and very gentle on skin. They come with a very good moisture management, which then results in various benefits when you wear the garments. For example, that you have a very minimal static charge, and also that the fibers don't give a good environment for bacteria to grow. And in addition, we have these sustainable benefits, so that the fibers come from botanic origin. They are, as I mentioned before, theoretically biodegradable, although we don't want to do that. And they come from a sustainable production process with this closed loop, where we recycle 99.8% of the solvent and most of the process water. Tensor with Refibra technology has a lot of certifications. First of all, the EU Eco-label, which is awarded to products and services which meet a high environmentally standard throughout their life cycle. The fibers are certified according to Ökotex 100. We can provide the recycled claim standard. The fibers are USDA bio-based certified, and upon request, we can also provide FSC certification. So I think one of the questions might be, where can we actually get this fiber? So we have already several fabric mills working with Tensor and with Refibra technology. So depending on the type of application, either woven or knitted or filling, it would be probably best to get in contact with our business development team to find the best partner of choice for your planned use. And with that, I think I only took the 15 minutes. I would like to thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you so much, Julia. Super nice to hear more about the behind the scenes of your journey with Refibra and so on. So there are actually a couple of questions in the chat. And we also have a few minutes for this, so I will go ahead and ask you. There's a question from Wendy. Are you able to work with brands wanting to purchase new textiles made with their own textile waste? For example, they send in you textile waste for recycling.
This is unfortunately very difficult because we need a lot of pulp for our production. So until now, we did not find anybody who actually can provide us so much waste that we can sort of like put it into one production slot and keep it sort of like separated from any other waste, because usually when we run a production, we use between 250 to 350 tons of pulp in one go. And so if any brand can provide us this type or this amount of waste, then we certainly can think about it. Otherwise, it's really hard to separate it.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that you need it basically to come from one source, one company, so you know what you have.
Well, I mean, if a company wants sort of like to track it, I mean, because then we can only sort of like produce it in one separated go or production campaign, and therefore we need a lot of waste. So that's quite of a challenge. So at the moment, it's really hard to offer this, or it's actually impossible to offer this solution.
Yeah, well,
but it would be nice to have. I mean, honestly, that would be the ideal world. Yes.
Exactly, because it's a question we get a lot from our companies that have the waste. Where can we, who can we contact to actually get this recycled? So it's a very relevant question.
And also, we also have to say, I mean, we are not typical pulp producers, so we don't have any facility where we can sort of like get rid of the seams and the buttons. So we really sort of like need the pure fabric and not any sort of like not recyclable parts in there.
Exactly. Yeah, which makes sense. Thank you so much. The next question I will try and ask quickly is about the ID technology that help you track materials through the production. Can you use this to track the fibers after they get to the customer? For example, if it was returned to you at the end of life. And then also, yeah, we'll take this one.
Yes, it's not washing off, so it's an identification system that stays in the fiber. So we can also track sort of like a final product.
So, but is it something like blockchain, or is it a print like Digimarc? There's this company that in the US that does the print all over the fabric, so they can track it. How is it?
It's an identification system which is protected by intellectual property, so I cannot really tell you sort of like how it really works, but it's something ingrained in the fiber, so it's not washing off. And we also offer blockchain technology in addition, so that companies can be sure that the fiber is really sort of like traced through the value chain.
All right, very cool. Catherine is writing. Very cool, thank you. And then a small additional question also from Catherine about the colored textiles. Do you have a process to remove color, or how was that part? Maybe you mentioned.
Yes, but we need to test every fabric before we can actually recycle it. So it needs to be sort of like color wise combined, so we cannot sort of like get mixed colors. This is not possible at the moment, and the color is removed. Yes, so it's sort of like there's some bleaching step to remove the color.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Very, very interesting. And you guys will get the slides as I wrote in the chat. And since time is running as always, we're gonna move forward to Rune from Plast Nordic. So Rune, if you're there, I know you're there. I saw you earlier. So
hello. Yes.
Hello, there you are. So I will